Hello everyone, this is Danny from Deep South Homestead. We've been asked a lot of questions about how we do our bacon here, so Wanda and I went to town this morning to a local butcher shop, picked up a side of a pork belly, still got the skin on it. We don't smoke with the skin on ours because we found out that it just doesn't do as well as we like, doesn't take the smoke penetration like we like it. So what I was going to show you is what we do is we work our way. I've already started on some of it. We hold the skin up and we kind of take our knife and we go along here and we cut this skin off of here on this because we like to keep the skin because we make our own pork rinds out of it. We just take our time. It's a little bit time consuming, but we cut this skin off of here, get it down to where we're just dealing with the pure meat here and the fat of the bacon. And when we get to the, we get it all off of there, what we'll do is we'll show you the process of how we mix our cures and how we rub it down step by step. That's what we want to show you in this video. What we've done previously, we cut the skin off and we have subdivided the pork belly into two 5-pound pieces. And what we've done, we've mixed up our ingredients here. We have the pink salt. He takes 1.5 teaspoons of pink salt per 5 pounds of pork belly. 1 cup of brown sugar. 1 cup of kosher salt. We mix this up. Now this is per 5 pounds, this mixture. We've mixed this up in here. We've already done the other side, so we're going to take this here. And what we do is we just lay it on top of it. And we just rub it in good. We get it all rubbed in really, really good. Just rub it around on there. It's not going to hurt it. You want to make sure you get good coverage with it. In all your places, takes a little bit of time, but just take your time. Make sure you get it all covered really, really good. And then once we do this, here we can get 2-gallon Ziploc storage bags. That 2-gallon bag will hold that 5-pound piece of pork belly really, really well. What we'll do here now that we got this is I'm going to take this pork belly, and usually what I do is I fold them in half because I seem to get a little bit better working out of it that way. And we stick them down in the bag. Lay your bag down, take your hand, just kind of work it out where to fit in there really, really good. We'll do that with the other one too, and then we'll show you what our next process is. I mean, I can go ahead and just tell you now. What we do is we seal these things up. We put them in the refrigerator for 7 days. Once a day, we flip it. We do that because we want to make sure that both sides of the meat gets the cure, goes through it really, really well, because what that salt is going to do is it's going to start pulling the moisture out of this bacon and it's going to start curing it. This bag, when we get through curing this in 7 days, probably have 1 inch of liquid in the bottom of it when this is cured. And when we take that out, what we'll do at that point is we will wash it lukewarm water, because that lukewarm water will help to dissolve any salt that's left on it off of it, and it'll help to clean it really, really good. And after that, we'll hang it up to air dry for a couple of hours. Okay everyone, this is day 7 on our bacon curing in the refrigerator. We've taken it out. What we're going to do here, we're going to open this bag up. I want to be careful because it's got a lot of the juices in it that comes out of the bacon. We want to take this out. We want to put it in our pan of warm water. Now I'm going to take this, let it set for just a minute in that warm water. I just take and I run my hands all around on it and kind of slosh it around, move it around. And once we get that done, we want to just kind of take it and let it just kind of dry off. You're going to want this to be dry as you can get it. So what we usually do is we move it over to the lid part of this, and I'll take paper towels to try to absorb some of the water off of everything. It's just part of the process of drying. The only way we're going to get it really dry is when we let it hang up to dry. Once we get one of these done, we will show you in just a minute the full process. We've dried it off as well as we can. We have our bacon hooks. We use the 6-inch ones here. They seem to work better. And I stick mine in from the bottom side. You want about, oh, I'm going to say probably being a good 1.5 inches. And what I do is, this is for demonstration purposes only here in the house. Until we get outside, I'm going to hang it on the cabinet knob here. But I usually leave them hanging up under a sheet like that, a cookie sheet or something. That way, I let the air dry any moisture on it, because you want it to kind of air dry it a little bit before we actually put it in the smoker out there. First thing we want to do when we start smoking bacon is we want to make sure we get our smokehouse opened up. I like to open my smokehouse and leave it open because we start our fire with a fat pine lighter wood, and it gives off a real heavy smut. And we don't want that to be inside the smokehouse, or we don't want it to be on our bacon or anything. So what we're going to do is get this fire going, leave the door open to let the lighter wood completely burn out, so we got nothing but our smoking wood left. Ready to start our fire now. We take our fat pine lighter wood down here, and what we do is we bust it in these long slender pieces and we break it in half like that. Because when you break it in half, it creates this little splintery end on it here. That makes it light really easy. What I do, I lay me a piece of the wood crossways in my smoker, and I put that kindling wood on there. I just stack it up like that. I'll stack several pieces in there because we want to get this fire going. We want to get it going quick because it is cold out here. Hope we can get this match going with that wind blowing without blowing it out. That's the beauty of the lighter wood. Usually starts rather quickly. We're going to be taking what we're smoking with today, we're going to be smoking with apple. And it's apple off of our own place here. One thing you might want to know, if you go and buy these apple wood in blocks from the stores, you want to be a little bit cautious about that, because a lot of these apple trees that this wood comes from has been sprayed with real harsh chemicals, and those chemicals is absorbed into that wood. And when you smoke your bacon or whatever it is you're smoking, whether it's sausage or whatever it is, you're emitting those chemicals back onto your food. So that's one of the reasons why we usually take the cuttings off of our own apple trees here, because we do not use any types of chemicals to spray our trees with. And to get the fire going, we just want sticks. That's all we're using right now, is the sticks off our apple trees. What we have here, this is our apple wood that we store underneath our little smokehouse shed here. We keep it dry underneath here so we can use it when it comes time. We've got the smoke now coming out of our smokehouse. We're going to let it burn for a while to get that fat pine lighter smut out of the air before we actually hang our bacon and close the door up on this thing. What we're going to be doing now, we're going to hang our bacon ends. And I know a lot of people look at how raggedy this looks. They go, well, why didn't you cut it square? We don't cut ours up yet because we like to smoke the whole pork belly. All this pieces like this is not going to be bacon. We're going to use those for seasoning meat when we do beans and stuff like that, greens and stuff like, you know, that we eat with needing some seasoning in it like that. So that's why we leave them jaggedy looking like this, if any of y'all are wondering. But we're going to hang our meat back. We don't want it dead over the pipe because the smoke comes out of the pipe and goes forward. And we're going to be closing the smokehouse up. We're going to run the temperature up to about 150 degrees in order to get the internal temperature of the meat down to 137 degrees. Alright, our fire's burning down a little bit, so we're going to throw us some more wood in here. I like to stack my wood up at teepee style, because that way as it burns, it falls down on it. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a flame going there for a while so we can run that temperature on up in that smokehouse. As you can see on the thermometer, since we closed the door, it's already up to 80 degrees. It's jumping. It's climbing on up there. We're going to run it on over to about 150, and we're going to try to keep it there. Okay, we've got the smokehouse a-going. The smoke is a-rolling this morning. Nothing more a beautiful sight than to see that smoke boiling out of that smokehouse like that. And our neighbors can smell it, and boy, About starved to death smelling the smoke from our smokehouse. Got our bacon out of the smokehouse here. We're ready to start doing the cooling off and the washing process. If I can hold it here, it's kind of warm. It's still on the bacon hook, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and you can see it looks good. We're going to run out. We got some cold water here. We're going to dump this in the cold water. Stop the cooking process and start chilling it down. And what we do is we just take it and take our hands and just kind of wash around on it in case when you smoke stuff, a little bit of the smoke smut gets on it. And I always like to wash all that stuff off. Your hands get greasy doing this because that's still got a lot of fat on it. That real cold water will start stiffening this thing up, because what you want to do is you want to make sure this thing gets washed off real good. You want to get it cooled down, because what you're looking for is a piece of meat that has a stiff texture to it so that you can be able to slice it a whole lot easier. But we're going to take it out of that cool water after it sets in it there just a minute. You're going to want all the water that you can to drain off of it. We're going to lay it back over on our tray here. Okay, we got our second one washed. What we're going to do, lay it over here on its tray. We'll square it up at some point tomorrow. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to hang this stuff back up. We're going to do what is called letting it bloom. We're going to let it hang for about 2 hours at room temperature. And then we're going to take it and we're going to put it in the refrigerator till tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll take and slice it once it's stiffened up. Okay, we've taken our bacon out of the refrigerator, and what we've done, this end here that was so jagged that I showed you on the video earlier, the clip, about the uneven part, over here you can see where I've taken a knife and we cut these chunks off. This is what we use for seasoning our meat and, our beans and stuff like that. When you do red beans and rice and things, we kind of cut it off, make us a square point here. And what we've done, we turned this thing on, we've been cutting our bacon with it. Give you a little bit of a show about that, how we do it. Okay, after slicing some of it here, you can see, people, you can't buy this in town at your supermarket where it's store-bought bacon unless the butcher in there custom cuts it. You just don't get any prettier bacon than this right here. These big wide slabs, they're thick. You know, you got some nice thick pieces in there. You know, they're not like this little paper thin stuff that you get at the grocery store. This is the way bacon ought to be done. Okay, here we're showing Wanda. She's done weighed out one package. We put them in 1 pound packages to put them in the freezer. She gets them just right because that bacon is so long. This was such a nice slab of bacon here. Shows her how we wrap it up to go in the freezer. Got another 1 pound package weighed out. Some of this bacon is good 12 inches long and 2 inches wide. That's some nice bacon there. And once it's wrapped like that, she'll stick it to the side and she'll take a pen and she'll write on it the date, what it was, and what it was smoked with, and we'll put it in the freezer.